I don't know about you, but so far 2019 hasn't impressed me with many movie releases. How to Train Your Dragon 3 was probably the best thing I've seen this year, and I loved it. But fuck you, M. Night Shyamalan. By March, my expectations for Us were very high. Get Out was awesome. Psychologically thrilling, funny, all-around genius. So I was ready to eat up everything Peele was going to feed me. First off, the movie was very good. Entertaining throughout, creepy, constantly leaving its audience with questions. For instance, Jeremiah 11:11, which we see on a sign held by a homeless man twice. Anyone in the theater as curious as me researched the quote to find, "Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them." Creepy. My expectations, though, left me a little disappointed. I was expecting a horror film, something with a dark atmosphere, maybe a little darker than Get Out, hopefully less jokes for the sake of tension. While the kill count and gore increased tremendously, Peele was definitely still working within his comfort zone.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. I just want to thank you for your continued faith in my ability. We won!
Letting the characters break the suspense with light remarks unfitting for the serious nature of this film.
Oh, could you hold on 1 second? Okay, hold on. You lying.
Which, if you don't know, is about alternate, tethered versions of ourselves emerging from miles of tunnels underneath the surface to kill everyone. This dark, scary, and weird plot could have been horrific, but also great soundtrack. Easily my favorite part of this movie. The underground versions of ourselves, the tethered, are the key to everything Peele wants to stay here. While Get Out remains open to interpretation, Us is a lot more direct with its intent. The red jumpsuits, the Michael glove, hands across America, aligned with protagonist Adeline's age, all this points to the 80s. Peele has even talked about being inspired by 80s commercials, which produced the tone and message of this film, that being an identity crisis. 80s commercials are so cheesy, fake happiness that is almost creepy. Our country at the time was suffering an identity crisis, much like the characters throughout Us are faced with the challenge of themselves. For our main character, Adeline, there's a much deeper meaning. And if you haven't put this together yet, Us stands for US. This is where the spoilers get real. If you haven't seen the movie,
Get out. Sorry, man.
Okay.
Get out!
In the end of this film, we find out that Adeline, the whole movie, was not who we thought. When little Adeline went alone into the House of Mirrors to find yourself, she was captured and brought into the world of the tethered, while the actual tethered version of herself took her place in the real world, eventually forming into the standards of the world and being almost indistinguishable. Peele makes this exchange clear. If you've seen the movie, you understand what I'm talking about. Peele sprinkles a lot of political and social commentary into the movie. I don't think all of it adds up, but it does work to build curiosity in the audience and allows for small interpretations. Overall, though, I think Peele is making a statement about social class. The tethered represent the repressed, the people living in the US in poverty, acting out a lesser version of what the privileged Americans on the surface get to experience. Both versions of Adeline conform to the world they are in. The ability we have as humans to become a part of our environment breaks the wall of differences between a wealthy or surface human and a poor, tethered human. Peele left little hints supporting this idea. Jason Wilson's tethered version is called Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld. Zorro Wilson's tethered version is named Umbrae, which is the plural version of umbra, defined as the dark central part of a sunspot, or shadow of darkness. In our world where the rich get richer and the poor poorer, this reality is something we actually face. The scene Peele has created is scary because it's real. The tethered don't deserve to be stuck underground. I mean, it's said in the movie that they were even created by the humans on the surface. The violence of us is almost justified. Not that the privileged surface humans are directly responsible, but they're paying the price for ignorance. What do you guys think about the film? Any other theories about what Peele is saying in US? I'd like to hear what you have to say. As always, thank you for being here. You give me a reason to create.